welcome Mario Herrera, Business Development Manager for Crystal Cruises, who is going to talk to us about what makes Crystal so special in this all-inclusive luxury cruise space. And stay tuned until the end because we have a special show offer exclusive to Bon Voyage Travel. So with that, it is all yours, Mario.
Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate the time and the opportunity to present today. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to joining us today. And yeah, just like Catherine said, we'll share some of the programs and things that we've been doing during this time that we haven't sailed, but we are planning to sailing into the future and resuming service hopefully soon. At the moment, we are planning for that time to be January of 2021. We had a conscious decision back in July to cancel all the sailings through 2020. So we have canceled all our sailings at Crystal through the end of the year. But the hope is that, again, as this pandemic and the world starts opening up, again, that we will be back in January. Again, my name is Mario Herrera. I'm the Strategic Business Development Manager for Crystal Cruises, and we work very closely with everyone at Bon Voyage Travel to help you plan your cruises. And part of the presentation today, I want to share again the plans and everything that we've been doing to return to service in January, while keeping everyone safe on board and addressing the protocols and guidelines that we need to follow, working very closely with the CDC, working very closely with all of the health authorities around the world, and of course, CLIA as well. So let's get started. One summary slide that I wanted to share with you is, you know, we have grown here at Crystal. 2020 is marking our 30th anniversary, and we were planning to have a wonderful program on board our ships. Unfortunately, we could not do that, so we have to delay it until 2021. But I do want to share that we're in a very good position because for 30 years, we've been delivering a 6-star service for ocean cruising, luxury ocean cruising. And 5 years ago, we expanded that experience into different brands or different brand experiences that we call here internally. So we have options in terms of how you can experience Crystal. We have the river cruise experience, and I'll touch on each one of these momentarily. But river cruising is part of our brand now. We also have a nice, beautiful yacht, small yacht that we have to offer our Crystal experience on. And next year, we're still planning on launching our Expedition brand, which is with one ship, the Crystal Endeavor, that will be coming out in May. So with that being said, Crystal is a refined, elegant, and we're known for the service, that gracious and very graceful hospitality that we have on board. I love that truly the essence of our brand and our crew on board is those smiles, those attention to detail to take care of our guests, and many stories that we get from our Crystal Society members are related around the crew interaction and how they feel like they're family on the ships, and that's truly what will continue to drive Crystal to be the best in the luxury space for the next 30 years to come, we hope. So with that being said, there are 5 different pillars that we are focusing on, and I want to just reiterate with everyone here on what makes Crystal different. Service, number 1, and the essence, the soul of our brand, our people, our crew, which, by the way, yes, they have been furloughed. Obviously, they're during the time that we have discontinued operations around the world. They are waiting for us to call them back. We did a survey, just by the way, with our staff, with our crew, to reach out to see how they are doing. We're checking in on them, and we're getting them ready to start thinking about coming back to the ships. And part of that survey included a question: how many of you how willing are you to come back in January? and 95% of them are ready to go, wanting to come back, cannot wait. They're just waiting for the call to come back to the ships, and that's a really good thing. That really kind of reflects the level of experience that our crew has, how connected they are with the brand and with our guests. And luckily for us, that allows us to keep our consistent service on board the ships. So service is number one. We also will focus on the space because that has been a pillar of Crystal, and our ships are prepared for the new world post COVID-19. And when we start resuming service, we will be addressing the space on board the ships. Quality, everything that we do is high quality, as you know, from the dining to the entertainment to, again, the level of service. Everything is high quality, 6-star luxury on Crystal. Choices, of course, that is part of the luxury experiences that we offer. We want to make sure that everyone has a personalized experience on board and they have choices. Again, whether it is with our entertainment on board or the shore excursions, every program that we offer will be high quality and will offer different choices to you. And then lastly, of course, the destination, which is the reason why we all travel, the reason why we cruise. We want to see these beautiful destinations that we're traveling to and cruising to. And that is still remains a big focus for us. Our operations team has been working diligently with all the destinations and the port authorities to make sure that we can resume service while addressing the current guidelines that each government has, which is, within itself a challenge when we are thinking of returning to service. And then lastly, we mentioned all-inclusive. We are an all-inclusive brand. Everything is high quality and luxury, but we make it very, very comfortable for you, so you do not have to sign off or buy any additional packages on board. We include our entertainment, our Michelin-inspired cuisine, including our specialty dining, such as Umi Uma by Chef Nobu, and our specialty Italian restaurant Prego. Our enrichment programs are included, all the entertainment, the Wi-Fi on board, our prepaid gratuities taken care of as part of your cruise fare. So there's a huge value here. Even our fitness classes and golf clinics on board and our self-service laundry are included. There's no additional cost. So great value for traveling with Crystal and cruising with us. And I hope that you can see that. And if you have experienced a cruise with us in the past, we thank you. We thank you for being here to learn more about the future and how we are returning to service in 2021. So I do want to address the big questions that obviously are in everyone's minds. We know the threat that COVID-19 has been. We also have been working very closely with CLIA and the CDC to learn more about the virus. How do we stop the spread? And how do we keep everyone safe on board? Because ultimately we want to come back to service, but we want to make sure that we do it in a safe way so that everyone is taken care of. That means our crew and also, most importantly, our guests. So recently, just a few weeks ago, we launched our third version of Crystal Clean Plus. We already had a Crystal Clean Plus experience on board, or program, if you will, with stringent guidelines that our operations team put in place to keep everyone safe and making sure that we were sanitizing and keep everyone, from spreading any type of viruses on board. But given COVID-19 this year, we have just increased those protocols, follow the guidelines from the health authorities around the world, and of course, CLIA and the CDC here in the United States. And we came out with this great program, which is available to you on our website. But if you want specific answers or questions about specific areas regarding protocols, you can always reach out to your Bon Voyage preferred travel advisor, and we'll make sure to give them to them. But you can also access this on our website if you ever have any questions. So I wanted to go over a few things that we have implemented that we think are going to be temporary measures. Some of them, others will remain and will just make our ships and our cruises a lot more safer when we return to service. But first and foremost, the areas in terms of the experience for you is pre-boarding. What are we doing to keep everyone safe? It starts from before you get to the cruise, before you get to the ship. One question that has come up, and I think it's been a standardized policy that all the cruise lines will implement, will be the travel insurance requirement. This is a requirement that covers you, and it's really to keep everyone safe. But also, I know that it's so new to everyone that there will be some terms, conditions that will be evolving and changing. Currently, our legal team, because it does involve legal, our legal team is involved with our travel insurance partner legal team to ensure that we are covering all of you and all of our guests coming on board, and how do we manage this requirement of a travel insurance when you're traveling and boarding our ships. Um, the second part of this is what we need from you. It is also we will require a negative test, COVID-19 test, within 48 hours prior to the departure to the cruise. You can submit that to us, and we'll be all okay and clear for you to come to the port and embark the ship. Also, before we release any documents to you, we will require a Crystal's priority check-in, which will include a health questionnaire, and it will be all available through the PCPC center and online check-in portal. Once you get to the port on embarkation date, we have planned and we have put in place this plan of stagger arrival times so that we can really control and undergo a second COVID-19 test at the terminal provided by Crystal Cruises. Again, at that point, it will be a quick turnaround, 30-minute wait. You should have a result. Once that result is negative, then you will be allowed to embark the ship. Obviously, we'll have all of our crew and staff there to assist with that. And of course, in the meantime, before any of our guests, any of you come on board the ships, we will be sanitizing every public area, staterooms, suites. They will be disinfected and taken care of by our crew so that you can be safe when you come on board the ship. So those are the requirements pre-embarkation and embarkation during embarkation date. Again, just the things that we need to do to put in place to return to service in a safe way. While on board, some of the things that we are going to implement are going to be touchless temperature checks for crew and guests. And by the way, every one of these policies and protocols obviously apply to our crew as well. So before we bring them to the ship, they will be going through testing before they leave their home. And then at embarkation, when they come to the port, obviously they'll also take another second test and then come on board. Now, one concept, this is a good point, a good time to remind everyone of the concept that has been going around the world really about controlling the spread of COVID-19, which is the concept of a bubble, right? A bubble to keep everyone from entering with the virus into the bubble. That's truly the concept that has worked. We saw it with cruise lines that have resumed service in Europe. We have seen it with the NBA, professional leagues that have this bubble where they kept testing everyone, and once everyone in the bubble is safe, they kept anyone from entering that bubble, if you will. So this is the reason why we'll do the next following protocols. Touchless temperatures will be done on board when you're entering restaurants and theaters, most of the enclosed venues that we have. Momentarily, and this, I know this affects many of you single travelers, we are suspending until further notice our ambassador host dance program. These are our wonderful ambassadors that are there ready to dance with our wonderful guests. We are going to suspend it until further notice. At the time, um, another measure that we need to take is also our junior activities for kids. We will not have any programming or in-suite babysitting services until further notice. And then the lifeboat drill procedures on embarkation will be changed a bit to truly accommodate the social distancing. So we're working on the details, but we will obviously advise you before you come on board. And again, these are just the measures to put in place to come back to service in a safe way. And we hope that this is not going to be the new normal, that this is only going to be momentarily, and just try to keep everyone safe, because this is a very serious matter to us. Ashore. Okay, so here's a good area, a question that has come up, because we've seen this with other cruise lines that have resumed operations and service in Europe. When we're going to port, guests will only be permitted to disembark the ship when they're participating in a crystal shoreside activity or excursion. It is strict. It might mean that you might not have the opportunity to have some free time in the port, but it's truly part of this concept of the bubble to keep everyone safe. And we're working with many of our local partners to make sure that we can provide options for all of you coming on our ships. But this will be part of the protocols that will take place when we resume service. And then lastly, on board, we will be providing with PPE kits for all of our guests in their suites and staterooms. Of course, that includes masks, that includes hand sanitizer, and all the PPE equipment that will keep you safe and will follow our guidelines, really, that we have received from the authorities in each destination. Okay. The question that I've been getting quite often lately is, what is the mask policy on board the ship? So as you know, this has evolved even here domestically, right? We will continue to evaluate the policy on board. Presently, we will do require the guests to wear masks uh, when social distancing is not possible. So that really means when you go into a lounge, maybe the casino, fitness centers, elevators, ship tenders, shoreside terminals, and the tourist dispatch areas and transfers, that is when the mask will be required. When you're walking on the ship, or maybe going to the restaurant, of course, we will take measures to keep social distancing, and where we can do that, then the mask will not be required. For our crew, although we love their smiles and we want to see them all the time, they will be hidden behind their mask at all times. So the crew will definitely be wearing the mask at all times on board the ship, just to keep all of you safe. And of course, what we've learned from all of this time is a matter of being flexible, being able to pivot and change and evolve with the guidelines that we have in each destination. So we will have to follow and communicate with the health authorities in each destination. So sometimes that might change. The required of masks might change depending on the port, and we will advise all of our guests when we are going to shore. Social distancing. Okay, so social distancing, how are we going to implement this on board? This is where the concept of space that I mentioned earlier will really come into play. We're privileged that Crystal ships are already among the most spacious ships in the industry. Um, you know, especially for the two ocean ships, the Symphony and the Serenity, they were designed to truly offer almost double the space per guest on the similar size ships. So our ships are medium size. However, where, other cruise lines might have 2,000 guests on those ships, we only have 900 guests, 980 on the Serenity. We are going to implement a capacity cap on those two ships at 80% at the moment. And again, this is just a measure while we return to service and we address all the guidelines that we need to follow to keep everyone safe on board. Obviously, social distancing, I think it's a standard worldwide at 6 feet apart. When you're uh, dealing with other guests on board that are outside of your travel party. And we will have reduced capacity in different venues, restaurants, the entertainment, fitness centers, fitness center, pool deck, our casino, the lounges, elevators, and onshore excursions as well. So in terms of the shore excursions, I have good news. We have a wonderful onshore land program team that is working very, very diligently to provide options and make sure that we are keeping the guidelines while still delivering so many wonderful experiences ashore for all of our guests. So we will have plenty of options for you to choose from when you're going on our cruises. One of my favorite aspects of Crystal is dining, and I'm sure if you have been on Crystal, you enjoy our wonderful Michelin-inspired dining experiences. So that's a big question. What is dining going to look like when we return to service? And we don't see too much of a change. It will be probably more exclusive in terms of the guest in each venue because we are going to implement social distancing. So we will have a capacity control. We will have a cap on how many guests can be in each area. Aside from entering, getting your temperature check when you're entering a restaurant, maybe wearing the mask while you walk through the restaurant. Aside from that, nothing major will change. We will deliver the best culinary experiences that we always deliver on Crystal. The one part that you will be missing is seeing those beautiful smiles from your server and the crew. But the quality will be there. The experience will be there. The options will be there, and it will be all I think great and Crystal level experience. Entertainment, same goes with entertainment. We obviously have a very robust entertainment program and enrichment programs. We will have caps in the venues, and we are implementing this system with ushers and directional arrows to get you to the allocated seats for you during the venues and during the shows that we will have on board. The director of entertainment is still working very hard to deliver the most amazing entertainment on board, from Broadway shows to the most wonderful entertainers to come on our ships. We are working on the contracts now, so the level and the experience will not change much, just a few adjustments to follow the guidelines. So a couple other things that we are doing on board. I think some of the questions are, what if the bubble bursts? What if we do have a case where someone, whether it's crew or our guest, is showing illness? We have created an isolation ward, medical center, if you will, on board our ships. There will be a cluster of guest staterooms close to the medical center with our doctor and 4 nurses on board. In the case, hopefully this will not happen, but in the case that someone is showing symptoms, we will be able to isolate them right away and keep them away from our guests. Also, ventilation is something that between staterooms is something that we are addressing. Separate ducting between staterooms so that we don't have the same air going from different staterooms connecting. And then one big thing, it always has been a great demand for Crystal. Our staterooms with balconies or veranda staterooms categories are always the most popular categories. And they're selling out now. I mean, these are the ones that are selling well. And I think it's just, again, because of the concept of getting some fresh air from outside into your stateroom. So those are kind of the quick guidelines. Obviously, we have a lot of detail. Our team has put much effort into making sure we're following the guidelines, making sure that we're comprehensive, making sure that we're also transparent with all of you in what we're doing, what the cruise experience will be when we return to service. So moving on, I do want to kind of just do a recap on the product, the experiences that we have, right? We have the two beautiful Crystal Serenity and Crystal Symphony ocean going ships. At the moment, I mentioned we are planning on resuming service in January of 2021 on both of them. The Crystal Symphony has a guest capacity of 848 guests, but with the cap that we are implementing with our guidelines, it will be only 680 guests on board the Symphony. And for the Serenity, that means 784 guests under the guidelines of our Crystal Clean Plus protocols and guidelines, okay? So where we'll be resuming, both will start Miami and Los Angeles. They have different programs in place. I can tell you that, and maybe many of you are thinking of this when you're thinking of coming back to cruising. Something close to home, so the local domestic ports is really what clients are booking and all of our guests are looking for. So we do have the options of the Caribbean later in 2021. We have our Canada and New England programs planned for September of 2021. We do have some of Hawaii. We have also, of course, if you're going further now, we have in the middle of the year, spring and summer, we always do our Mediterranean cruises and Europe cruises as well. But we do have the options if you want to return to cruising and stay closer to home. We have those Miami ports, those Caribbean itineraries, and also Canada, New England itineraries as well. So again, I'm not going to touch too much into it. I don't want to keep you for too long, but I do want to remind you of the different experiences that we have available for 2021. Our river cruise experience, I'm blown away with. I have a background in river cruising, and when I learned about Crystal River Cruising, coming in with only 106 guests on board, brand new ships, only 4 ships, the Crystal Bach, Debussy, Muller, and Ravel. We have really elevated the luxury experience in river, and we're planning on resuming that service in March of 2021. We do offer 7-night itineraries and 10-night itineraries on the Rhine, Moselle, and Danube, where we truly think the authentic river cruise experience can be delivered, right? When you're thinking about the Rhine and the beautiful castles along the Rhine, and then of course the blue Danube. River cruising, I will share this with you, is becoming more popular now for our brand. I think there's a connection between, the size of the ship and also close to the shore in terms of cruising and going back to traveling in Europe. So it's doing really well. Just a few images of the river cruise experience on Crystal. We have all suite ships with full king size beds, all balcony, all suites, because they are every category on Crystal River is a suite. They do come with butler service, and we do have the highest crew to guest or lowest crew to guest ratio, which is great. We have 2 crew per every 3 guests. So on average, river cruise companies have around 150 guests on the same size of ships. But remember, we only have 106 guests, and that really has allowed us to create more space for our guests and also provide much greater service, more personalized service, which is always important for Crystal. So you can imagine the level of experience that you will have. Again, twice the number of crew per guest than any other river cruise line. And they're all employed by Crystal. So this is the beautiful thing about our crew as well. They're so ingrained with our brand and attached to our brand. They love that they have now options in terms of what experience they can work on. So many of our ocean crew members have gone from ocean to river, and across the board to the other brand experiences as well. One thing I love about the river cruise experience on Crystal is that we do have the flexibility of open seating. There are no fixed dining times, which is different than most river cruise lines. So you do not have to eat with strangers because we do have the space. We have plenty of space in our dining venues. And yeah, you can eat at any time. The Michelin inspired cuisine will be provided fresh from local ingredients in the destination right to your table, and you can come at 6 p.m. For a nice dinner, or if you're going for a nice cocktail before, you can come for a late dinner, 9 p.m., 10 p.m., whatever you think it's the best time for that beautiful dinner. You'll have that flexibility on Crystal. The next experience that I want to talk to you about, and something I'm really excited with Crystal, is our yacht, our Crystal Spree, a beautiful little yacht that is truly that yacht experience that we all dream about. You get to have that without having to buy your own yacht and going to these beautiful destinations. So the Crystal Spree is a 62 guest, 31 suite yacht. We have a truly one-to-one or less than one-to-one staff to guest ratio there. So you can imagine the level of service you will get on the Spree. We use this metric now on footage per guest. So you have more space as well. You can see how much space you have per guest, even at full capacity. And in terms of the destination, this beautiful yacht goes to those off the beaten path, small ports, small destinations, like the Dalmatian coast. You can go to Croatia and just enjoy the beautiful coast. Go to the Greek islands and just do island hopping, if you will, on your beautiful yacht. Go to private little beaches, if you will, every day and enjoy that beautiful day. Have an adventure, see something different than going on a big cruise ship. And we also go to the Arabian Peninsula and the Seychelles. If you're interested in the Seychelles, by the way, we are open. We have the green light to go. We are there with the Crystal Spree from January through March, so the first quarter of the year, every year. And we just launched 2024. So for the Crystal Spree, we have programs through 2024 available on this program. Now, don't know if moving forward you want to maybe just bring your family and friends. This is the perfect size for a charter. So the Crystal Spree is our #1 charter ship or from our fleet because it's perfect. Again, we only have 62 guests. And when you do charter, whether it's for family reunion or maybe corporate group, whatever you think it might be, you have the flexibility, you have the control of what we have to offer on board. And obviously the program, we can change it a little bit if that's what you want. So a great little yacht. If you think about this program, I do like to highlight that it's a bit different than our ocean ships, right? This is more relaxed, more casual. It's intimate. It's really a yachting retreat. I love this image because it's perfect, right? It tells you how relaxed and laid back it is. We have yoga on the deck every morning with beautiful views of those destinations that we go to with the yacht. Many of our destinations, by the way, will require saltwater landings. So that means we use a Zodiac. You climb down the ladder onto the Zodiac and off you go, saltwater landing. So you'll get wet. Don't bring your fancy shoes because you'll have your feet, your toes wet. Go to this beautiful beach. Our staff will bring cocktails and lounge chairs for you and just have this beautiful private beach for a day, and then come back onto your yacht, into the Crystal Spree for the specialty dining and the 6-star service that Crystal offers. So if you want that type of experience, the Crystal Spree is waiting for you. And lastly, the last brand, not yet launched. It is delayed. The Crystal Endeavor, our expedition ship, was due to launch tomorrow, actually October 15th. With everything going on this year with COVID-19 closing our shipyard in Germany, she has been delayed, but we are planning on launching her in May 2021. The Crystal Endeavor will be coming. She's truly an expedition ship, only 200 guests, so she's still considered a yacht because she's fairly small. But only 200 guests on board, 100 suites, a staff to guest ratio of 1:1. So you truly have a 1:1 staff to guest ratio. You can see the beautiful suites that blow my mind. They are going to be the largest suites on any expedition ship out in the market, starting at 304 square feet, and then just going up from there with different categories. It is an all suite ship, and it comes with butler service because there are suites. All inclusive on board with the luxury of Crystal and the Crystal touches on board the ship, but led by expedition leaders, experts in the destination. So we will be going to very remote bucket list destinations to show you marine life, as you can see here displayed on the screen there. Mudroom, this is the area where, for those of you going on an adventure to Antarctica, for example, this is where you get prepared, you get your gear on, which by the way, will be included as part of your cruise. We'll be including your parka, your beanie, your boots as well, your water bottle as well. So all of that will be taken care of as part of your adventure with Crystal Endeavor. She'll be, as you can see, she'll be all over the world, but she is going to remote bucket list destinations. So yes, of course, we always think about expedition to Antarctica. That's great. We will be doing that, of course. It's a highlight of this program. But we'll also have the Northeast Passage next year. We'll have Alaska in a whole different way, a whole different experience with the expedition product or expedition ship. But Australia, Tasmania, New Zealand, Japan, all of those beautiful destinations, but smaller ports off the beaten path, finding marine life, finding villages, finding colonies of penguins. That is what this product is about, and it's a true adventure. And we're excited about coming out with it next year. So those are the recaps on the product experiences. I do want to finish it off and answer some questions in regards to the programs that we have available for you. We understand that there is, we're living in a world of uncertainty, and we want to make sure that we give you the confidence to book and come back to cruising again and start dreaming about cruising again as well. So our Crystal Confidence program for the time being, for the first quarter of the year in 2021, we have a zero down new 30-day option window. That means you can put, you can reserve your stateroom, secure your cruise fare and your stateroom, your space, with no money down, no risk at all for 30 days. After the 30 days, that is when your option will be up and it will expire, and that is when you will be required to put down your deposit. We have reduced deposits to only 15% instead of the standard 25%, and then more flexible final payments and cancellation terms. So for January through April 2021 sailings, again, reduced deposit of 15%, and final payments are due until 60 days before cruising. And then the cancellation schedule, we are waiving admin fees with penalties just kicking in 60 days before your cruise. So you have plenty and very flexible terms to start planning your cruise, hopefully. For the rest of the sailings, that means past April 2021 through 2024, we have the program Easy Book. Essentially for you, you still have the 30-day deposit period. You do not have to put your money down until 30 days after you make the booking. You have a reduced deposit and no admin fees. We're waiving any admin fees for you. So you have really no risk when you're planning your next Crystal cruise. We have a few offers, best available suites for our river product. That means starting at $32.99 per person, you can get the highest category available. And same for the Crystal Spree in 2021, starting at $54.99 per person. You can receive or secure the highest category available um, in that sailing. Okay, so it could be a nice upgrade, complimentary upgrade of $4,000 per suite. In the meantime, while we are not cruising, we are keeping the Crystal Cruise experience alive virtually. I invite you all to join our Crystal at Home experiences on Facebook and Instagram and social media. We have programs every day of about 30 minutes where we are streaming an experience from the Crystal Cruise experience. So on Sundays, our wonderful chef John Ashton prepares from his kitchen. He prepares a beautiful meal from our recipe book with insiders tips from the kitchen, right? And it's a wonderful experience because his character and his jokes are just fantastic. So it's a very enjoyable um, activity on a Sunday. Wednesdays are wellness Wednesdays with our wellness instructors. Thursdays, my favorite day. We have Thursdays preparing signature cocktails from Crystal Ships. And Fridays, we have performances from our Galaxy Lounge every Friday. So every day we have a new program, and I invite you to check that out. We have those videos on our blog or also on our Facebook page. And lastly, I kept you for plenty of time. I do want to answer your questions, but I want to thank you and thank Bon Voyage Travel for the opportunity. We are offering an exclusive presentation offer for being here. We are giving you, offering a discount of up to $1,000 per stateroom on select 2021 sailings. And for any booking, any sailing that you book, if you book something by November 3rd with Bon Voyage, you will also receive a $200 per stateroom onboard credit coming from Crystal and Bon Voyage Travel. So we are very excited. Hopefully, we are dreaming again on cruising again and coming back to service. We look forward to welcoming you and working with Bon Voyage Travel to booking your next cruise vacation on Crystal. With that, I end my presentation, but I'm happy to answer any questions that have come in. So Catherine, let me pass it back to you.
Hello. Thank you so much, Mario. I was fielding some more questions that were coming in.
Yeah.
So let's dive right in. I think we have some fun questions, but before we get to those, there were a couple came in. If you could maybe revisit and talk a little bit more about the mandatory travel insurance and the COVID-19 testing with the 48-hour results. There's just a couple questions about that, and if just revisit that just real briefly would be great.
Yeah, that's perfect. So part of the guidelines and the recommendations that we have received involve the requirement of travel insurance. So that's what I touched on. So let's touch on that one first. Yeah, it will be required so that you are protected in case that you do get a positive test at any point during your travel. And that is big requirement because we want to make sure that you're taken care of. Every port, every destination, as you have learned through media and just reports, every destination essentially has their own guidelines and protocols. Some might require quarantine at that time, right? So we want to make sure that you're covered, and it will be part of our requirements. Like I said, it's something so new to us as well. I think many travel agencies and travel advisors always advise to be protected and buy travel insurance, but this is going to be an extra layer of protection to you, to our guests. And for the time being, we're working on it. Our legal team is working with our travel partners as well, with our insurance partners, to figure out the terms. So this is still evolving. That's all I can say, because I know our legal team is working closely with the legal team at Allianz to get all the terms and conditions in terms of our policy when we sell it through Crystal. So I wish I could have more details, but that is part of the requirements that will be in place when you are, before you can check in to come on our cruise.
Right. And it's dependent upon too, every circumstance is different.
Mm-hmm.
So I encourage you, implore you to contact your travel advisor, and they can get you the details that pertains to you and your specific trip. So definitely, if you don't have a travel advisor, I always say this, please contact Bon Voyage Travel. We will get you set up with a Crystal Cruises expert and make sure that you have all the details you need so you can plan appropriately. So some of the fun questions would be solo travel. So we had actually a couple of questions on solo travel, and one specifically on river cruising. Are there any solo fares or specials or room accommodations? Any of that you can touch on would be great.
Yeah, that's wonderful, and I'm sorry I did not touch on that. That's such a big market for Crystal, to be honest. We do have wonderful solo fares where we have reduced the solo uh, fee, essentially, on specific sailings. And the one tip I will give is work very closely with your advisor, because they can keep track of those. They can work with all of us here at Crystal to get those best fares for solo travelers. What I recommend is also book early, because there usually is a cap on how many solo travelers we allow per sailing. So the earlier you book, the lowest the solo fare will be. In terms of the programs, we have a wonderful solo program. We don't have single staterooms, so that's the beauty of it. You pay less for the full stateroom. But we do have programs, and big one is our ambassador host dance program, which unfortunately for now will be suspended until further notice. However, we are working very closely with our operations team. They know that we need to deliver some great experiences for our solo travelers, so we have some new programs coming out and we'll be launching soon.
Great. What about dietary accommodations, those with specific diet needs? And namely, one was a literal diet of Weight Watchers, portion control and all of that fun stuff. So how flexible is that?
Yeah, we're very flexible in terms of dietary needs. I think it's part of our luxury brand, and nicely enough, we have a perfect guest count with a wonderful crew that can deliver any type of dietary needs. You just work with your travel advisor again and let us know what you need ahead of time, and we'll be prepared for you when you come on board the ship.
Excellent. Can you talk a little bit about U.S. ports and those that maybe want to stay close to home? Obviously, you have your Hawaii and your Caribbean itineraries that might appeal to those that do want to stay close to home. But there are many options that they can choose from, correct?
Yes, correct. Absolutely. So we have many options for the next 3 years where we have our programs out. Um, the Caribbean sailings are always very popular. And we are seeing that trend, Catherine, and thank you for that question, whoever asked it, because I think coming back to cruising, clients are more comfortable with staying closer to home and staying, within U.S. ports. So we have those Caribbean sailings next year. They start, I believe, in October. Before that, we have our Canada and New England itineraries as well. So September, we have some Hawaii in January of 2022. Excuse me. We will have the Alaska programs, which are always nice, on the brand new ship, the Endeavor, in next year. So that will be a great opportunity. And what I will say is, because again, I think it's just an area where people are more comfortable staying closer to home. They are selling faster than the other itineraries for fleet. So just keep an eye on it. Maybe make that booking on using the 30-day option that I mentioned. Work with your travel advisor so you can grab some space and just kind of see, or get a quote and see what's viable for you. But we do have those options.
Great. Thank you so much, Mario.
Of
That about
course.
covers, actually, we had one last question come in about visas.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any visa issues that that you're aware of, or are you handling all of that? Can you touch on that a bit?
Yeah, well, yes. The world has changed. So what I will say about visas is there are different requirements ever changing. It has become, it will be somewhat of a extra hurdle when we are traveling again. So I think we can certainly help, but I think this is a great reason to use a travel advisor. You will have access to the advisors that have the latest information in the destination. They also have access to wonderful services. We use the same services just as Voyage does as well. They are wonderful visa services that are just um, kind of rolling with the changes in every destination. So be ready because they will change and it will be fluid. So use the travel advisor to make sure that you're getting the best information possible and you're preparing for the travel that you're planning, including cruising.
Perfect. Thank you, Mario. That's what I always say. Contact us and let us
Yeah,
know specifically what trip you're planning, and your travel advisor can come up with all of the details and the information that you need to know. So
hmm,
it's all tailored per trip, per person. So definitely call us. And with that, that's all of the questions. So thank you so much. I
wonderful.
really appreciate your time today,
Hmm.
and letting us know all of the updates with Crystal, and some of the not so fun stuff, but stuff we need to know. It's important to know as
I
we
think
plan.
absolutely. No, thank you for the opportunity. I hope that we gave some transparency and some, yeah, updates. I think it's a time of ever changing guidelines and restrictions, so we have to keep everyone informed. So thank you again, and thank you everyone for joining today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And please be sure to check out bvtravel.com/events for all of our upcoming Wednesday webinar series. And definitely give us a call so we can help you out with any of your future plans. Thanks again, Mario. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye everyone.